Chad Kirk says, I'd rather spend 10 grand on acoustic treatment. Yeah. I mean, if you want to
I
spend
don't know.
10 grand, I mean, maybe a few $100.
Well, it's probably more effective, right? So spending
It's
that
more
money on
effective. Yeah.
is going to be more effective, but it's not an exciting purchase, to be honest. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
No.
like, ooh, I can't wait to do that. And then you get it, and then you got to actually put them all up. It's not the funnest, but it's probably the most effective. So
I got a response from one of these room treatment guys.
mm,
So like, because half of me is just like, well, I should just throw up some drapes in this thing and call it a day,
mhm.
and get rid of some of these, first reflections. But yeah, if they're gonna send it, and I don't have to pay anything for it, cool. But otherwise, I already, $300 on some drapes.
Yeah.
That'll do a lot. Like heavy velvet blackouts.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about
Hmm.
like inexpensive acoustic treatment solutions, right? So curtains, maybe you can pull some up. But I have another one because I just did a calibration for somebody. They know who they are,
Uh huh.
and the floor was pretty much all
All tile.
tile like tile surfaces, and like lots of reflective surfaces. But that tile surface was really obvious in the measurements,
Mm.
and so I was like, you can just get two area rugs. You don't have to spend a ton of money, but two, like if you look it up there too, like thick rugs. That's gonna if you have reflective floor, right? Like wood's probably still not as bad, but still not good. But if you have concrete
Mm-hmm.
or tile is probably
Right.
like any like really hard surface like that, yeah, it's gonna cause some comb filtering effects and just a matter of putting yeah, look at it, it's not even expensive. Put down some area rugs, right?
Well, you have to watch out because this picture looks like this baby's on this giant thing, but it's only 4x9 or four by five. So you should definitely look at the dimensions. Otherwise, they're gonna take you, right.
Yeah. You gotta read the dimensions, otherwise it's gonna be like a mat for when you get out of the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little bath.
Exactly.
Here's the area rug. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you don't have to spend a ton of money,
Eight
and you
feet
can
by
get
10 foot. $159.
and
I don't know.
so we say these things. We say these things, and it's like, okay, that's nice. That's nice. I've heard other people say it, but I've actually seen measurements recently from somebody who did this experiment. They did an experiment in a like big open warehouse where the sidewalls and the ceiling were not an issue, right? Because they were so far away,
Hmm.
they were non-issues. And so the only issue was the concrete floor.
Concrete floor.
And so they did measurements. They knew how the speaker measured anechoically, and so the question was, uh, how much does a thick area rug matter? How much does it make a difference, right? And
Hmm.
so the experiment was also so without, and then he did one where he was putting like crazy amount of rock wool, like the super thick stuff, to
That you
really
put
eliminate.
inside the acoustic treatment, right?
Yeah, I think he
Rockwell.
said like 8 inches worth of this stuff, like ridiculous amount of
Whoa.
absorption, right? Just to see what would happen. And with that amount, they were able to kind of eliminate all of the issues,
Hmm.
all of the reflections with a thick enough. But so that's super unrealistic, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody's gonna use that much of anything. Um, but what I did see was an area rug, right? It looked like it really helped out a lot above 3 kilohertz, and it actually started helping with the comb filtering effects as low as 1 kilohertz.
Hmm.
So that's a significant difference, right? So if you find that, oh man, your speakers are a little bit harsh in your room, a little too much treble, and yeah, maybe you just need a little area rug.
Does,
So
does the
that's one
carpet
tip.
need to match the drapes?
Oh my god, yes, yes. All right, so that's my solution. What's your solution? What is your what do you think? What's
Well, I mean,
you're talking?
I like the drapes idea. Should I just plug in my phone to this other computer so I can show you guys, or not my phone, but the camera?
I don't know what you. But what? Some thick drapes, huh?
Yeah, thick drapes, right? So essentially, here I'll put the screen. There we go. You guys can see it's all this. It's
Mm-hmm.
nothing but wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of wall. Got wall on that side, wall, big ass window in front of me, right? So the window definitely needs to be covered up with like a drape, just also for my privacy. But this little weird cutout nook thing helps because it's not like a complete like rectangle. But oddly enough, like you see these little random. My buddy brought some of this stuff that he just had laying around his house, right? A few bass traps, and like one like pad we put on the sidewall here. Oddly enough, just this little bit, we just put him around the room a little bit because he didn't have a whole lot. There was already a difference.
Yeah.
Right. There was already a difference. So like sometimes when I see these guys, even with the GIK and this new guy, this John Hunter guy, all their sketches for like the room treatment for this room, they're totally overdoing it. Totally overdoing it, right? Because they're just they want to make it look nice or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's overkill. Not necessary.
I guess it depends on which frequencies you're really trying to treat, right?
Okay.
So, a lot of the stuff that we're talking about is, some of the higher frequencies. I would have to see a measurement to see how much those curtains make a difference. But I'm assuming it's probably like just higher frequency stuff. But yeah, I mean, those are where a lot of the issues are anyway, right? A lot of the issues that you'd want to treat, want to treat higher frequencies. And just to give an example, we had a 100-inch projector screen in Angela's office. Right? 100? Yeah, I think it was 100. Was it 100? 100 or 110, 120, something like that. Just a normal projector screen. And we had it up, but they never really used the projector in that room. So we took it down. I put it in the garage, right? Well, after we took it down, it had this like weird like echo. Just the projector screen, taking the projector screen down. I guess it was absorbing some of this echo that we never even knew. She's like, man, what can we do about this? Can we put some treatments up or something? Because like it was that annoying, right?
Right.
The echo was that annoying. But that's not even meant to do that, right? Just putting something up on your wall, I guess, is what I'm saying. Will make a difference. So,
yeah.
I would
Reverend
say
Slim. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, what did Reverend Slim say?
Thick drapes with a gap behind them. I actually have a double rod with 2 layers of curtains. Blackout curtains are good for this because they usually have multiple layers of fabric.
Yeah, they have some with like 4 layers. Some that are supposed to be kind of a little bit of sound absorption. I actually use some of those in my bedroom just to block a lot of the light, right? Because we're near like a street, so you can hear a lot of a lot of sun comes in, but you also hear a lot of road noise. So I was kind of curious to see if it would muffle that stuff out. It actually does. It actually does. So yeah,
the blackout
inexpensive things that you can do, and I would recommend a lot of people just do some of the inexpensive stuff first. You know what I mean? If you have hard floors, put an area rug, man. You don't have to go crazy with it. Just do that first. All right, put up some curtains.
Yeah.
And then if you want to get very specific and you're looking at certain things, somebody mentioned RT60.
Yeah. Jeremy did.
He mentioned RT60. Oh, Chris Hamilton.
Well, for a studio, you want RT60 down lower than what we do for a room.
Yeah. So my RT60 in my garage is actually pretty good, and I don't have any treatments up. I just have a bunch of crap around.
And you have that stuff on the floor, though.
Yeah, the foam on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, and then area rug, but nothing crazy. And then, so Chris Hamilton said it's not just frequency response. More important is the impact on RT60. I would say that they are related, right? So, reverberation time does affect your frequency response in some way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nicholas says, depends on your speaker's dispersion pattern, depending on what sort of treatments and damping you need.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But are people really even doing that? That's a question I have, is when somebody recommends room treatment, right? You go to GIK and then they design something for your room. Do they even ask you what kind of speakers you have?
No.
So
they just get like, what are the dimensions of the room? What does the room look like? Do you have pictures and or video?
yeah, so they don't know the dispersion characteristics of the speaker. Yeah, I think that'd be important to know. What is the off-axis response vertically? Do you need something vertically? Because if you have something with bad off-axis response vertically, then yeah, maybe you would want to consider something like that, more so than if you have a concentric speaker where everything is good vertically. You know what I mean? So I think that would be a good thing to do, is if you're gonna start recommending room treatment, to really look at the characteristics of the speaker and also look for specific
in the room,
issues
right?
In the room, but with that speaker, with the response. And then you can start saying, you know what, this is something I'm trying to fix specifically. What do I need? Do I need a 4-inch foam? Do I need diffusion? Because right now it seems like it's a little bit like, yeah, just put it here.
Yeah.
Put this. Like it's not that specific.
No, it's more like a generalization, right? Like, like I know for a fact, so I'm sitting at a desk, right? Here's a desk. Me knocking on the desk. There's a monitor in front of me, and behind that is the center channel, of which I can see the tweeter, one cone, and and the second cone. I can't see the third cone. So I'm gonna run a calibration where the computer and the desk are here. And then I'm going to run another calibration, moving the desk and the monitor and everything, so I get a clear shot.
Yeah.
Right. And then I can test and see, go back and forth between the two. So like I can show you once I get it done. Then there's going to be like a before the treatment and after the treatment, or before the drapes and after the drapes. Did the drapes make that big of a difference? I'm sure. Like if I clap right now, like I can hear some, like on the high end, it's very obvious that, it's bouncing back and forth between these two walls.
Does it matter if you clap high or low?
It does. The higher I clap, because there's less shit, right? Because if I clap here, it's not as bad. Or clap lower, there's not as bad, because there's not enough. There's not as much stuff hanging out here.
Yeah. Somebody asked, how do you deal with HVAC noise? That's a rough one.
You don't. It's just there. It's just there.
Get a mini split. And put the thing outside.
Or you just start sweating.
Yeah.
You just start
not
sweating.
Much you can do. There's not much you can do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The further that compressor is, the better. Make sure to check out our audio-only version of the podcast at anchor.fm/Daily HiFi, or just go to your favorite podcasting service and search for Daily HiFi.